Hello again. It's that time for GeekTalkMD. I'm Dave, and this is
Bond. James Bond.
maybe Gold Bond.
Actually, that stuff's pretty good.
Actually, it is. Well, if nothing else ages us, I think that just did right there. Yes, what episode are we on now?
We are on episode 13.
Lucky 13.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes, good times. My 13th birthday was on a Friday.
Yeah. I remember. So actually, you should make it clear it was not just on a Friday. Your 13th birthday was on Friday the 13th.
Yes, that's true. Yes, and it was a good day, even though it rained a little bit. Anyhow, so we are on another episode of Geek Talk.
And today's subject is...
Drumroll, please.
I call bullshit.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You do? You do that too often.
So basically what we're going to be talking about today is parts of movies, scenes in movies where something happens that even if it's in a world of science fiction or fantasy, something happens that is just so physically impossible that you're sitting there in front of your TV or your computer or in the movie theater, basically just yelling at the screen, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah, one of those moments that you're looking at it and it just makes your eyes roll. It's like, give me a break.
Or even something that happens with an established character that is just so ridiculously out of character that that it's obviously they couldn't think of any other way to move the story forward. So they just came up with this
some sad little idea.
So, some people used to call it, like in the old days, Deus Ex Machina, the God in the Machine, or Ghost in the Machine.
Wow, that's a nice bit of trivia there.
Yeah.
And we have a guest.
Yes, we do.
We have a guest.
I'm excited.
I bet you are.
You sound excited.
He is excited. You can tell. Who do we have?
We have Scott!
Scott!
Hi, everybody!
Oh, dear God.
and that's how he picks up the little children.
Oh, God. John Wayne Gacy with a biker beard.
Thanks for coming on, Scott.
Oh, no problem.
We figured that if there was anybody who can help set the science straight, it would be Mr. Scott.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that'd be me.
That'd be him. So, and as well, we know that you're a big sci-fi fantasy guy as well, so you can definitely add a lot to that as well. So how will we get started?
Yes, indeed. So,
all right. So what is the first that you had on your agenda?
Well, keeping in time with the my little opening gag there, I am a really big James Bond fan.
If only we could gag you.
So funny. Oh, someone get me a corset. My sides have split.
Oh, I have to keep you together. They're falling apart. Anyhow, James Bond.
I'm a really big James Bond fan, and if there's nothing else, I mean, some of the stuff that happens in the Bond films is just so beyond the level of suspension of disbelief.
Are you serious? I think it's all 100% believable.
Okay, well, let's start with one where all three of us were together the first time we saw this. I distinctly remember this, and we actually argued about this on our way out of the theater.
I don't remember that.
I do, and I'm sure Scott's going to remember. It was the movie. It was the movie GoldenEye. In the opening scene where Bond jumps off the cliff after the airplane that has no pilot in it and falls faster than the airplane to catch it and get in it and pull it out of its the plane out of its free fall.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, come on!
Well, there's a slight problem with that, Dave.
What is that?
I'm sorry, Galileo, for God's sake. I mean,
he never had airplanes.
All objects, short of actual air resistance, all objects fall at the same speed. Yeah. Plus...
No, they don't. You're wrong there.
Cha-ching!
At the same velocity.
No.
Really?
The speed that an object falls is completely dependent on air resistance and its mass.
I just said air resistance. No, mass has no bearing on
the
issue.
Of course it does.
There's actually a video online
that
actually
of an object dropped from 22,000 feet?
No, of two objects, believe it or not, a bowling ball and a feather in a vacuum. They actually they actually created a vacuum within an old airplane hangar. I'm not kidding. You look this video up. It's on YouTube. And they dropped them both from the ceiling, and they fell and landed at the exact same time.
Ooh,
no air resistance, therefore the same velocity.
Really? I thought it was fine. I thought that there was always...
so help me God, Scott, it's there.
That's what, 30 feet?
Oh, no, more than that. But it's definitely there. They fell at the exact same... a feather and a bowling ball.
And how did they determine point of contact?
Yeah.
Did they have like a pressure plate individually, or how did they measure that? Did they use a stop?
Exactly.
Pull up the video and see for yourself.
Okay, we'll have to take a look at that, because I agree. You know, the science has always said that two objects will always fall at the same. But
you're right.
You know,
however, in this case, we're not talking about a vacuum. We're talking about two objects falling in air.
That's true.
Yes, but we are talking about.
I mean, I would love to put James Bond in a vacuum.
Well, they actually did that to one of the villains in License to Kill, but we'll leave it at that. But first of all, the plane is of the greater mass, therefore it should fall faster. Secondly, it's more aerodynamic than a human being, so it should fall faster. Thirdly, its propeller should fall faster.
Yeah, but
virtually I agree with Mo.
Yeah. But wouldn't the plane still have more air resistance?
No, it's aerodynamic. An
airplane,
enough, an airplane is aerodynamic.
No. If it's being driven down, if it's being flown straight, but if it's not, then the what is it? The rudder and whatever, maybe turning slightly and fighting the pull.
But there was nobody in the plane, so it was in free fall.
True, but I thought when the air goes over the wing, it instinctively will try to right itself.
It will.
I mean, that's how the wing is designed.
But the point is, the point is in this movie, it didn't try to right itself. I agree. If the airplane tries to right itself, then he'd just fall past it because the airplane would go one way and he'd be going straight down.
Yeah, it wouldn't be in free fall anymore.
Correct.
Yeah. But I mean, just like a parachuter, you can control how you're falling by the amount of air resistance you put against your body.
Yeah, but that's like, okay, you slow yourself down by spreading your body out. You speed up by just basically putting your feet together and putting your hands against your sides.
Yeah, and go straight in.
Yeah, but that's still not more aerodynamic than a plane, because a plane is designed specifically to be able to cut through the air like that. A human being is not.
Okay, well, either way, you're calling bullshit on the fact that you think that he couldn't have gotten into the plane.
He couldn't have fallen faster than the plane. Forget even getting into the plane. Who cares about that? Just he could not have fallen faster than the plane.
Okay.
Because the propeller was turning, and so the plane was being driven down.
Yes.
Okay.
Fair enough. It was just downright silly. But I'm not going to stop there.
Oh no?
Oh no. There's more. James Bond is.
I thought James Bond was your favorite guys.
Yes, he is, but still.
Why are you beating on him so?
because I like calling bullshit on some of this.
All right.
Go. For instance, Thunderball, starring my favorite James Bond, Sean Connery.
Uh-huh.
He is the man, and I defy anybody to say otherwise.
Was there any other? I don't think there were any other.
There you go. In Thunderball, Q gives him an emergency mini scuba tank.
Okay.
That's according
to that penknife.
Yeah, that is supposed to hold approximately 4 minutes of compressed air. Okay. And I'm sorry, that thing was so small it wouldn't have even held one breath worth.
Well, it all depends on how much the air is compressed. But you're right.
I've even seen documentaries about the James Bond movies where the guy, the production designer Ken Adam, admitted that some guy from the Royal Navy actually contacted him and said, "Okay, how did you pull that off?" And he's like, "No, I couldn't. It just doesn't work that way. There's no way that you could compress 4 minutes worth of air into something that small. Physics just
locked." Liquid oxygen.
Liquid oxygen.
Put liquid oxygen into an object that size and then release it through a very, very small venturi. You can probably get more than 4 minutes out of it.
Yeah, but
again, James Bond is a very physically fit man.
Especially when he's Sean Connery.
Yeah, when I was a swimmer, I could hold my breath for 2 minutes.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. But with liquid oxygen, aren't you supposed to have your lungs filled with it first?
I wouldn't put liquid oxygen in my lungs. What are you talking about?
Well, did they do that in the movie? Okay, or maybe I'm calling bullshit again.
Liquid oxygen?
We're calling bullshit on you now.
No, there was that movie. Oh, come on. The one by James Cameron.
Oh, with the liquid in the lungs.
Yes. What was it?
What was
The Abyss? Was it The Abyss?
Was it the other?
That wasn't liquid oxygen.
Oh, it wasn't?
No. That is
That's some
a
ooze or something.
Yeah, it's an ooze. It's an ooze very much like the amniotic fluid
There we are. That's what I was trying.
from in the womb. Okay?
Okay.
It has a very high oxygen content, but it's not liquid oxygen.
Okay.
Okay?
There you go.
That's what that is.
Thank you.
Cool.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
but I still call bullshit on that one. On the
I
on the
disagree.
mini scuba tank.
I disagree. Compressed oxygen, you're not saying how far you're compressing it. If they compress it down to a point that it's a liquid, it can be done.
Yeah.
You could
I
actually
disagree
put 4 minutes worth of oxygen into that little, basically.
Absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
I stand corrected.
All right. Well, you know
But
what? Whether or not they knew that at the time, you know, that may be another thing. But you know, I see it being feasible.
Okay, and last but not least, in the James Bond area,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not physics. This is just wrong on so many levels. In Goldfinger,
No, you know, the title is a little bit risque, but I wouldn't, call bullshit on the title.
but one of the female villain in the movie, and her name alone is just wrong.
All of their names are wrong.
Yeah,
that's the whole
that's true.
point of it.
Pussy Galore.
Uh-huh.
Who it's established
It's a classic.
Yes, I know. And it's established early on in both the book and the movie that she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
And Bond rapes her. I mean, flat out rapes her. I dare you, go back and watch that film. He rapes her in the stables. And because he rapes her and he's so good and his dick is such magic, she suddenly just changes sides both sexually and morally.
Interesting.
I mean, come on.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Man, you better pray that none of your coworkers hear you say that, Dave.
Well, I'm not talking about the raping part. I mean about the magical penis part. Are you saying that there aren't magical penises out there that could possibly do that?
Well, maybe James Bond. I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe James Bond is actually a fantasy adventure, and it is actually magical.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he rolled a D20 and
Critical success.
hooah!
But yeah, no, you're right. She couldn't be much of a devout lesbian if
Can you be a devout lesbian? I don't know. If that's the right adjective.
It's the lesbian versus bisexual. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
she
fair.
could be bisexual and just prefer women.
No, I'm pretty certain, they actually make it very clear that she is a lesbian, like especially in the book. They never actually come out and say the word in the movie, but they do say, she does at one point
Prefers
say,
the company of women.
No, I think she says that she's impervious to his charms in every way.
I mean, is that what they said before or after the magical moment?
Before.
Okay. And then after, in the book, that she turned sides.
Actually, she's not impervious.
No, apparently not.
Well, there you go. You see,
But
it's
I
just.
still,
I do not think that word means what I think. What do you think it means?
Thank you, Inigo Montoya.
So yeah. Okay, so you don't believe in magical penises? Okay.
I have yet to see one, and I'm not exactly looking
Oh,
for
easy
one.
there.
Are you looking?
I just said, and I'm not looking for one. Do pay attention, Scott.
I missed that
Oh,
part.
sorry.
I got to remember to edit that part out.
Okay, moving on from there.
So, okay, well, James Bond, your favorite character, you beat up pretty good, but you make some valid points. There's some good BS in there.
Oh God, some really good BS in there. I mean, if we had the time and I had the patience to go back and check all the details, I could probably pull at least one out of every movie.
Oh, you know what? I think most movies are like that. I mean, whether or not you're transitioning from a book or you're transitioning even from your general screenplay concept, at some point you do need to move the story along. Or, you had this big idea about a certain character development and, for editing or for interest, whatever, it gets cut. So you got to do something to move it along. So I'm sure every writer, has to deal with this problem.
Yeah, but there comes a certain point when you're just looking at the screen and thinking, this is just silly. And which
Are we like an exploding shark?
actually,
Frickin' lasers!
Well, which exploding shark are we talking about? Are we talking about the original Jaws, or are we talking about something in one of the Austin Powers movie? Wait a second, did the shark in the Adam West Batman movie blow up, or did it just fall off?
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
Adam West had a shark?
Oh yeah, yeah.
In the Batman movie, yeah.
Yeah, because he even had, and I wasn't originally planning to bring this up, but it sprung to mind that he just happened to have on his utility belt a can of aerosol shark repellent.
The bat shark repellent.
The bat
Of
shark
course he does.
repellent.
Well,
Oh.
of course. I mean, what, half-decent bat belt wouldn't have that? We're not talking Acme here, man. We're talking quality Batman stuff.
But then again, in the world of the Adam West Batman series and the movie, everything was up for grabs because the whole gag was that that everything in it was supposed to be just too silly for words.
Yeah.
So you can't really call bullshit on something that was meant to be bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. For stuff like that.
And really high grade bullshit. I mean, I love that stuff. I'll at least once a year revisit some of that stuff.
Some of that classic Batman stuff, you mean?
Oh yeah, Batman '66. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll leave that up to you. But you still
Back me up here, Scott. Come on.
What?
You
I'm
don't-
not disagreeing with you. Isn't that the same thing?
Not exactly. Okay, well, let me move on to another massive geek
Please
property. Star Trek.
Strongest charge. Oh, you better be careful here.
Yeah,
You're gonna get hate mail.
Oh, you know what? I don't care because this is just so over the top silly.
The gauntlet has been thrown
The
down.
gauntlet has been thrown down in Star Trek Generations.
Okay. Well, I'm not a fan of Generations on the whole, but anyway.
Okay, but in that film, that's the one where Kirk gets trapped in the so-called Nexus, and then Picard brings him out to help him save a planet from the evil Dr. Soren. Okay,
It still sounds like James Bond.
yeah, well.
That was Dr. No.
And that was Malcolm McDowell, if I remember correctly, playing Dr. Soren. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that by that point in his life,
Whose life?
Shatner's life.
William Shatner's life, he had lost. I mean, completely and utterly capitulated in the Battle of the Bulge.
He was a bit muchy.
He was as wide as he was tall, and yet you're going to tell me that he was in that physical state a better fighter and a more agile person than both Captain Picard, who is far fitter,
but older,
and Dr. Soren, who's supposed to have, to a certain extent, mega strength.
Yeah.
And yet Kirk can kick both their asses.
But did he lose his shirt?
No.
Well, you see, times
But
have
still,
changed.
I mean, but come on. I mean, seriously? You're going to tell me that this, I mean, my God. You could see, I mean, even with the vest and the cable knit turtleneck sweater, you could still see that he needed to be fitted for a bra.
Well, yes and no, Mo. It all depends on the fighting style. Have you seen Steven Seagal lately? He's referred to as the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got that video that was out, a year ago when they invited him to Russia, and he kicked absolutely everybody's butt and was so lackadaisical about it and looked so bored for the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big man now, but you had 20 guys in their 20s and 30s physically fit who couldn't touch him. He just walks up to them, knocks them to the floor, and goes to the next one.
Yeah.
It was no contest.
Yeah, and I'm betting it was no contest.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put down and say, you know what? It was probably a setup. They probably had. I think it was the whole thing was because I'm hearing that just a couple of years ago he got into a fight with some guy, and the guy not only choked him out but made him piss his pants.
Okay, but all right.
But regardless
either
of
way,
Steven Seagal, I mean, but seriously, look.
What you're saying is Kirk is no Steven Seagal.
Oh well,
yeah, that's what he's saying.
well,
I have to agree with that point.
But, I mean, I just found it hard to believe that he was just so ridiculously... was he a better fighter? But he was more agile than either of the two guys. And that I just... No!
Yeah, that's a valid point.
All right. I'll give you that one. you
It
know.
was just
Okay. And again, well, my problem with Star Trek, and now I'm going to start getting hate mail, is
Yay!
their entire principle of the impulse engine.
Okay, good stuff.
The
Yeah.
impulse engine is used when you're moving less than the speed of light, correct?
subspace. Yeah, sorry, sublight. Yeah,
Subspace.
sublight.
Right. And they accelerate from 0 to light speed in 10 seconds, and absolutely nobody is just a red smear on the walls.
But you see, they have what are called, if I remember correctly, inertial dampeners.
Dampeners.
Yes, I know. They have enough dampers. There is absolutely no science anywhere that can explain an inertial dampener.
Okay.
Not now, there isn't.
I'm not then either.
But centuries from now, no.
The energy has to go somewhere. It's
Yeah.
impossible. They just be a red smear on the wall.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of television.
Yeah, I suppose Newton's laws of energies. Energy and energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be redirected or repurposed. I think it was something like that.
Change from one state to another.
That's it. Yeah, thank you.
But you're not worried about. It's not. It's not really energy we're talking about. It's momentum. Okay.
Isn't momentum a type of energy? It's kinetic energy. It's kinetic energy.
No, kinetic energy is dependent on velocity squared. Momentum is simply velocity.
Velocity squared is acceleration.
Yes.
Okay. Just trying to remember my high school physics. Trying very hard.
But at the end of the day, you're calling bullshit on
on impulse on the impulse
the
drive.
science of impulse.
the science of impulse. Okay, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay, I've put forward quite a few, and Scott's put forward one.
You
You've been-
put forward a lot.
Yes, well, I'm more forward than you are, Pookie.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, I one of the ones that it's an age-old question that has gone through time, but I still have trouble getting over it. And it had nothing to do with magical penises or going faster than light. It's the pure logic of what is up with Superman's glasses. I mean, really?
Superman doesn't have glasses. Clark Kent has glasses.
Of course he does.
That's the point.
Clark Kent is his secret identity.
With the glasses.
Yes.
So the glasses, because, glasses change one's appearance so dramatically that the love interest of the show and movies and cartoons just can't seem to put the two of them together. I mean, really?
Absolutely. That's
Really?
why you have to take your glasses off when you have your passport.
But she's not wearing the glasses.
Yeah, but you have to take your glasses off when you have your passport photo taken,
Yeah.
and when you
Yeah.
go to the
That's
airport
true.
because you look different.
Yeah, but she's a journalist. She should know the difference.
Oh, Lois, yeah.
She should be observant.
I mean,
Her
come
religion,
on,
her religious beliefs have nothing to do with this.
jawbone, maybe a little height.
Well, his haircut is
Wait.
different as well. The way he wears his hair is completely different. He when he's Superman, that little comma hangs down over his forehead, and when he's Clark Kent, it's all slicked back.
Yeah,
He's a fart.
I can see how that can make a big difference too, for sure. But no, I don't actually, because I never see him going into the phone booth with a comb and some slick gel. I mean,
Yes, but you're
because he's
forgetting
moving
that
so
Superman
fast
can
that
move,
you can't see him
can
do it.
move at the speed of light, just like the Flash. So he just leaves, grabs the gel, and comes
but
back.
it doesn't mean the revolving door can.
Actually, that reminds me, Scott. You'll probably remember this. I don't think Dave ever read the comics. The Tick. They actually made fun of that, where
It's like fun of everything.
yeah, where
You're
he
being a little
actually,
more specific.
where he
point
actually
of the
met
Tick.
a version of Superman in the Tick comics, and decides that he's going to emulate him. Instead of having special glasses that will convince everybody that he's somebody else, he gets this really loud, garish necktie. And he's convinced that this necktie, because
Actually,
this necktie is so ridiculous, no one will ever guess that he's the Tick.
Naturally. And so, because it made it into the Tick, proves my point.
Yes, it does.
Well, yeah, all right.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that one. Without question, that part is stupid. But
I have to call bullshit on that. I am sorry.
I'm with you on
Absolutely.
that. But
All right, good.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's my job.
But in the same film, I'm
Okay.
sorry, there's one...
Same film.
The same
Same film.
films. Well, since we're on the subject of Superman, how about Superman the movie?
What about it? Awesome. Everything was perfect.
Oh, please. Seriously?
Apparently not.
I can't believe you have a problem with Superman.
Oh yes, I do.
You know,
I do.
except for the glasses, of course.
Well, but I mean,
That's definitely a problem.
the fact that he flies around the Earth, forcing
Right? He could fly, you know.
forcing shut up, forcing the planet to spin backwards so that he can turn back time to before Lois Lane dies, so that he can save her. And you're going to tell me that? I mean, come on, really? Seriously?
Seriously?
First of all, if he had done that, the second he actually stopped the Earth's rotation, we would have all been, to use Scott's term from Star Trek, a red smear across the surface of the planet.
No, we would.
Yes, we would have.
wouldn't. Why?
Inertia, air resistance.
It wouldn't go flying off the Earth.
No, we wouldn't go flying off the Earth. No, we just get smeared across it.
Why? Because we're
Because
traveling
we're
faster
moving-
than light?
No, because we're traveling. We're traveling well past the speed of sound.
Well, no, because, you got to approach the speed of light to affect time. So I would
Yeah,
assume
but
to
before
make time go
but
backwards,
before we go
you'd have to go
faster than the
faster than
speed of light, because if you're assuming he's making us go faster than the speed of light, fine, whatever. But he's turning the world backwards, which means first he has to slow it down, then it
which he
has
does.
to stop, and
It does
then
do
it
that.
has. So the second you even slow down the Earth's rotation, we'd all go flying like a guy in a car who's just been in an accident without his seatbelt.
No, we would.
Just like Scott was saying about the Enterprise.
We are flying and spinning all the time, dude.
Exactly.
At the
You
same
think that
speed.
Yeah, but if the Earth slows down, then we're less likely to fly off, because if you think about it, when the Earth is spinning,
Oh my
it
God!
should be throwing us off.
Yeah,
So
what it
it's
said.
stopping. We should be
Scott,
able to
you're the
stay on.
scientist. Seriously? You're going to throw this at me?
We wouldn't be a red smear. Maybe the stopping part where the Earth suddenly starts to decelerate, we could,
There's
bump
no
into
such
a
thing
few
as as deceleration. There's negative acceleration. I remember that from...
negative acceleration due to Superman flying around the Earth backwards to slow it down might cause...
No, he's
negative
not flying around the Earth backwards. He's
No?
flying around the Earth... He's not flying around the Earth backwards. He's not going feet first.
Okay, technically.
Oh, fine.
Okay, technically, yes. Yeah. So he's flying forward, but
He's
making
flying
Earth spin
counter
the
to
other
the
way
Earth's rotation.
Fine. Counter to the Earth's rotation. He's slowing the Earth down.
And stopping it, and then
ridiculous
turning it
nonsense.
in the opposite direction in order to... I mean, come on. Really?
No, you're right. It won't move time backwards, because as Dave says, that requires us to move faster than the speed of light.
Which he can do, obviously, because he can travel between galaxies rather quickly. So
Exactly. Well, he can run as fast as the Flash, and since the Flash can catch up to a tachyon, that means he can fly at 2 times the speed of
Wait
light.
a second. No, I thought the Flash was faster.
No.
Isn't that like with the whole Crisis thing, how Barry Allen dies? Is because he was the
Oh,
only one that
spoiler
could-
alert!
Oh, come on. That was over a decade ago.
I didn't
That was
know.
a
I don't watch.
lifetime ago.
I don't know. I didn't see Splash.
Not the TV
Yes.
series, the comic.
But in the comic Superman versus the Flash, it said that they can both move at the same speed. Then, of course, you got the whole Speed Force thing. So,
Yeah. Although I hear Kevin Smith is giving glowing reviews for the new Flash TV series, but that's beside the point.
What does it have to do with Superman?
Nothing.
All right. So your issue is with this slight anomaly of him spinning around the Earth faster speed of light to make time go backwards.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Oh, I'm so glad. Mind you, to be fair, as Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson put it in his podcast, when he took his
Why do you keep
girlfriend...
bringing up his name?
Because I like him. When he took his girlfriend to see the movie when it first came out, and she actually, nudged him and said, "This couldn't really happen, could it?" And he said, "We're watching a movie about a guy in blue long johns wearing a red Speedo and boots and a cape, and this is the part you've got a problem with?"
I have nothing to say about this to him.
Yeah, I know. You're completely against him because he demoted Pluto.
That's right, bastard.
now lower than Mickey Mouse?
It lowered Mickey Mouse, yeah. He
Oh, God.
did worse than that. He buried Pluto. He killed Pluto.
It's still there. Anyway, so moving right along.
So moving right along. All right. So I had one that it came to mind with regards to this superhero stuff, and it's with regards to the new Ant-Man movie.
Oh,
now, that let me just throw it out there. I wasn't a big fan of the movie on the whole. especially because of the guy playing Ant-Man. I don't like him.
You don't like Paul Rudd?
He's annoying.
I think he's hilarious.
Especially for this particular role. I think he would have played a better just taxi driver that drove the Ant-Man around a little bit. That may have been the extent of the role that he should have had in this particular movie. But I thought for Ant-Man, the issue I have is with this shrinking... what do they call it?
What?
Well, yeah, when he's shrinking,
subatomic.
The PIM particle, and him shrinking down. So they say, according to the movie, and I didn't really know the comic book as well, so I'm not sure if it's the same thing. But they talk about him shrinking down by the space within the atom compressing. So we're space within the atom, and that's how he manages to achieve this shrinking ability.
That's insane.
What?
Which, of course, requires you to shrink the nucleus of the atom.
Well, I don't know if they ever say that they're changing the actual size of the pieces of the atom, just that there is a space valid.
He's saying, though, that in order to reduce the space between the atoms, or are you saying the particles of the atom or the space between the atoms?
They said the space between. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
You know what? You're right. Whenever they said it, I was always thinking that they were shrinking. For example, you've got the orbit of the electron. I always thought it was that space that they were talking about. But you're right. Maybe they are talking about the space between the atoms.
Okay.
Which is... Okay, I can see that there could be a space between the atoms, so maybe they are shrinking it somehow. So, okay, let's just assume that makes sense. But whether or not it's the orbital space or the actual space between the atoms, either way, it's that space that they're talking about shrinking. So either way, I'll give them that that's their logic of how he shrinks. Fine.
Right.
So my issue, well, actually, I have two issues. Two issues about this anyway. I have lots of issues, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So. The first part is that when he's shrinking or growing, it's at a really fast rate. It's almost like an almost instantaneous rate. We can still see it, so obviously it's not totally instantaneous, but it's still quite quick. So my issue is that when they have to, when he has to jump into the guy's suit, they show him shrinking and then jumping in. Well, he's jumping in while he's shrinking, and then while he's inside, he does all this damage inside the guy's thing, and he's cutting wires, and he's breaking, circuits and all stuff. I'm calling bullshit on that. Well, he's shrinking at the rate that he's shrinking, by the time he passes through the guy's back, he can't touch anything because he's shrinking too quickly. And so I'm calling bullshit on the fact that he couldn't cause all that damage he appears to have caused to the guy's suit, because I would say he's already too small to do anything.
Well,
there.
Okay. I think I've got an idea as to how that would work.
Okay.
Can I bounce? Let me bounce this off you here.
You can't. You're sub-mic.
Okay. Would it not make sense that if the space between all of his atoms are shrinking, right? Mm-hmm. Would it not also stand to reason the space between all of his neurons are shrinking?
His what?
Neurons.
Okay.
Technically, yes.
And therefore, all of his motor functions would speed up, like his hand-eye coordination, his reflexes, etc.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, but it does exactly. It doesn't matter. What you're talking about the point where he's shrinking so fast he's going subatomic, correct?
No. This is before. Well,
no.
Yeah. Sorry. To that end. So he takes off his governor or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And he recognizes that now he can go beyond that regular. He doesn't have that governance to stop him at that small ant size, so he'll just keep on shrinking. And so what I'm saying is that he keeps on shrinking so quickly. I'm saying that he'll be too small to actually touch anything.
You're right.
So that's
because if he's going from normal size to subatomic without being able to control his size and get bigger, you're absolutely right. He can't do it.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
So my other issue with that same thing is the fact that they're talking about shrinking the space or space, whatever you're talking about, within the atom. And as far as I'm concerned, you cannot go subatomic.
You're right.
Because how
at the same time,
itself inside out.
Yes, but you're arguing the principle of the power, okay? You are arguing a comic book versus the laws of physics.
Well,
are you saying that all comic books have to follow the laws of physics? At which point, you can't have a man in red tights flying around a planet.
All I'm saying is that if we give certain liberties to the logic of the fact that they can do what they can do, right? Hence, that's the whole thing of the episode. So...
And to be fair, in regard to Superman and his ability to fly, when they originally created him, he could only leap tall buildings in a single bound because the gravity of Earth is lower than the gravity of Krypton.
Which makes sense.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
How they got to flying because of that, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, but that's just the evolution of the character over time. That has become acceptable to most people. But what I'm saying in this regard is, I'm just saying with regards to the logic that they have put onto the tape, because the best he could become is,
really small.
Yeah.
The size of however many atoms he has in his body.
Yeah, I guess.
Correct. But
So,
then
anyway, that's mine.
they had to explain the death of the Wasp and blah, 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 blah.
Well, even in that, they say she jumped into the missile. It's the same problem.
Exactly. Yes, I know it's the same problem.
I wouldn't know. I haven't seen the movie yet. I know.
What?
I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm embarrassed to admit
And
it.
you want to
You
talk
should be.
about
All right, next topic.
The next topic,
Okay.
okay.
No,
okay,
I have a bullshit here, though.
Okay,
is my
just
bullshit.
one?
Well, I'll hold that one
First
back.
one.
Continue.
First one. X-Men 2. I call bullshit on X-Men 2. My issue is with this whole thing with the iron.
I agree completely. There's no way she should have thought, or he should have thought he'd get such a hot girl. There. I agree
Not
with
the
Scott.
point.
Let's move on. No,
Fine.
sorry. What was it?
Just completely ignore my topic. Okay, point being here is she injects this idiot guard with iron. And then he goes to this facility, which is specifically designed and has detectors to detect extra iron in everything.
Yeah.
So that you can't get iron close to Magneto. Now, the problem with this is one of three. A, either this detector would detect the iron, which it doesn't. Secondly, if it has only two different forms. One, elemental iron. Now, if it's elemental iron, it would all just collect in his feet, and then it would be detected.
Okay. Yeah.
And he would make a lot of noise when he walked.
And he would make a lot of noise when he walked. Well, his feet would turn purple and then green and yellow and stuff. But in any case, third, the other option is to put the iron into a form which is metabolizable, okay? A form which can move through the human bloodstream.
So
which,
force
of
feed him a
course,
shit ton of liver.
Liver.
Yeah, high in iron.
Yeah.
Yes, but it has to be iron something. So iron carbide or iron attached to some negative ion so that it can dissolve in water.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Oh.
Now, we already know that it can't be, that Magneto cannot affect iron in this form because otherwise he could affect anybody at any time anyways.
Oh,
and
since what's in the blood.
Okay, because it's inside the blood. It has to be in a form that's normally in the body. So anything normally in the body, if he could affect it, it doesn't matter if they have iron on them in any case because he can just affect them. Okay? And we all know that people can move up to Magneto and talk to Magneto in the same room. Therefore, if it's metabolizable, he can't affect it. So there is no way in heck that this would work.
So yeah. So your bullshit call is on
the iron, okay?
On iron.
She cannot get the iron into the idiot guard in any form that Magneto can affect without somebody detecting it or, him losing his feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, on the subject of Magneto,
keep on topic.
correct me if I'm wrong, but
All right.
magnetism for the most part only works on ferrous material. Basically, anything anything that has iron in it.
No.
Oh, okay, so I am wrong.
No, it has to be a polarizable material. If you take a great big, not a great big, a little, one of those horseshoe mags, and stick it on either side of moving water, you'll see the water drift to one side. It has to be a polarizable material. Iron,
Interesting.
water.
I always had a problem.
anything
You got one of many problems.
Because I always had a problem with the whole idea of him being able to affect adamantium, like he does in the movie to Wolverine.
Correct. Well, we
Because-
don't know that adamantium isn't polarizable. If
fair
it can conduct electricity well, which, as I do recall, it does, then it is polarizable, and as such, he can affect it.
So, but to your point, I can see your point, but it did make for a cool effect.
Yes, it did.
Okay. Yes, but I still call
Okay,
bullshit.
but
Yeah,
we're all pretty much in agreement about the whole Iron Magneto and the stupid guard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no way.
Especially about the fact there's no way that guard could have found it.
No way.
No.
Oh, maybe he was drinking Guinness though. Could that have helped? No, I guess.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
Guinness Punch, maybe. But moving on, how about The Dark Knight Rises?
What about it?
Okay,
Which one's
first,
that one?
That was the third one, the one with Bane.
Okay. Oh yeah, Bane. Oh, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't like that one either. I don't understand. I still to this day don't understand why everybody's saying it was such a great movie. I didn't think it was. But my really big problem with that film aside from the fact that Batman is able to outswim or outfly a nuclear explosion.
Okay.
Well, nuclear
Okay.
explosions pretty much move at the speed of sound.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
I could be
And
wrong
that's-
in this
and
case.
that's-
I haven't, actually.
You haven't been out there timing?
researched it.
Okay,
Yeah, or
but
after
that's
timing,
not. But that's not the
See,
point
they-
that I'm trying.
Go.
But that's not the
Alright,
point that
fine.
I'm trying to make.
Okay.
This time I'm
Alright.
not going to be. I'm not going so much for a scientific thing I have an issue with, but a character development issue.
Yeah, no
Alfred. This I will. Alfred Pennyworth. I don't care what the reason or anything like that.
Better not speak back bad.
Alfred Pennyworth would never desert Batman, and in this movie he does.
Yeah, but
It was
Unless
so
it was a
out of
ploy.
character. But it wasn't a ploy.
All right.
At the end of the movie, when he's at Bruce Wayne's grave crying, and he says, "I failed you. I'm sorry. I should never have left you." It was the whole thing was just completely out of character for Alfred.
Well,
Alfred is devoted to Bruce Wayne.
But Bruce Wayne isn't dead in that movie.
Yeah, but
is
he doesn't know that at that point
How do you know he doesn't know that?
because he's crying at his grave, and
Alfred is a.
And
but
even
Alfred
afterwards,
is
he's
a
surprised
wonderful
when
actor.
he's surprised when he sees Bruce at the sidewalk cafe in Italy later.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm sorry.
Maybe, it's movie. Maybe they're just trying to emphasize the.
Stop
Alfred
making
didn't
excuses
follow-
for bad writing.
Alfred didn't follow the train of thought, so they had to push the envelope, and that's how they chose to do it.
No, it was just bad writing. They
Alright.
had to make something work in the storyline, and the only way they could make it work was to have Alfred just leave,
Yeah,
which was
fair-
completely
well,
out of character.
Yeah.
And I call bullshit.
You go bullshit on that.
I call bullshit on.
You-
I also
you
call.
don't
I
think
also call bullshit on Bruce Wayne after having his back broken. I mean, like, what was he? He was only in that pit for what, a few weeks? I'm sorry, my dad broke his back when a truck fell on him. I can tell you for certainty. There is no freaking way that he was able to get that fit, even to just stand properly in that short period of time, from some guy just poking away at his back. No, ain't gonna happen. Not in this lifetime.
Well, isn't that a bat power to have fast healing? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's right. He just borrowed Wolverine's blood and he regenerated.
Wrong comic book series.
Radioactive bat.
Too much steroids.
All right, so the Alfred thing and the back thing, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I can get
Okay,
that.
have you got one?
Yeah, it's a little unlikely.
Yeah, well,
A little. How many years of character development of Alfred do we have?
yeah, he's been around a bit, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, in the comic, Bane did break Bruce Wayne's back. Of
Yeah.
course, it took him a little bit longer than a couple of what you said, a couple of months
A couple of weeks.
to repair.
Yeah.
Weeks? Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, a
it took-
couple.
in the
a little
comics
more
it
than
took a
couple
year.
weeks.
In the
Yeah,
comics it took
comic,
about a year.
About 3 years.
Fair enough.
I think it was
Yeah,
one-
but then
yeah.
the city couldn't survive well with him gone for a year. So,
Yeah, because it was
Well, it was Azeroth. It was Azrael.
Azrael.
Azrael
Yeah.
was running around.
Yeah.
But that was fun. You have to admit that Azrael running around as Batman was fun.
Well, the best part was when he started breaking the Joker's fingers and working his way up his arms. I love that.
that's a different villain.
No,
Okay, let's keep that. That's a different villain. So
Okay.
anyway,
Okay, you're
Yes.
next. Dave, give us another bullshit. Come on.
all right. This one here, because of the new Star Wars coming out, we've been here going through the various Star Wars, and we started at the Episode 1, even though it was done later, but just to do them in order.
Fair enough.
So
Yes. No one would let Jar Jar Binks live. As
Yes.
soon as they met him, they would kill him immediately.
well, and as well, I didn't want that to be my son's last memory of the series, so I wanted to do them in order so we can at least get two more in there, so that he could forget about Jar Jar Binks. But so we're going through it, and in Episode 3, okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So in Episode 3, we've got Anakin starting to go over to the dark side. And, they have this particular progression of him doing it. Now, I'm calling bullshit on that scene where they're on that volcanic planet.
Was it a volcanic planet, or was the whole planet just like a metal
It doesn't
smelting
matter.
plant or something?
So anyway,
Okay.
so
That's just lava.
so And so he thinks that his wife and his master are having this affair, which is what sends him over the edge and makes him make violence and so forth.
Makes him make violence? Seriously,
Yes.
Dave?
Seriously.
Makes him
So-
make violence. Wow. English is a second language.
I'm sticking with it, so move on.
Uh-huh.
So I'm calling bullshit on the fact that I don't think that little piece there is enough for him to flip over to the dark side. That's
that depends on how far along the Palpatine's conditioning and brainwashing had already affected him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, no. Palpatine at this point has him so badly brainwashed, he could believe that the planet's square.
Yeah,
Really.
I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
but this
Well,
is
do
still-
they actually establish anywhere in the Star Wars mythos that part of the dark side is actually
it's a choice,
brainwashing?
They keep going
No.
on and on about how
Although-
it's a choice. Don't make
choice.
because the Jedi able to do these are not the droids you're looking for a short
The
period of
Jedi
time.
mind trick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So would it not stand to reason that that the Sith are able to do something far more effective over a far greater period of time?
if he was a
Yes.
if he
Yes,
was
but
a
that wasn't
muggle.
the question.
Yeah, but he's the fucking Emperor. Well, he's
still.
going to be. He's the most powerful Sith ever.
Well, true, but they keep going on about how strong Anakin is supposed to be. So I would imagine he would have some sort of defense against it. So either way, I can't imagine that he has so much pull over this guy that he can make him think that his mentor for his entire life,
Who is supposed to have a vow
and
of
the one that
celibacy.
he loves, has this affair and that they're conspiring against him and blah blah blah.
Well, yeah, no, it's the brainwashing. Okay, no, I tend to agree with Mo. God forbid that. No, I mean, you can brainwash anyone into believing anything.
Yeah,
The point
Yeah.
is that
Brainwashing
the point
isn't
is
like
that
hypnosis.
you are right that Anakin would have a defense against the Sith equivalent of the Jedi mind trick
Yeah.
because he has such a strong mind. The Jedi mind trick only works on weak minds.
Yeah.
That's been established.
Yeah.
But plain old brainwashing,
Yeah, well,
that's
Yeah, but
a
what,
matter of choice. That
plain
has
old
nothing-
brainwashing has a technique as well, and none of that technique
Yes.
was done. It was.
Well,
it
you
was
don't know what
suggestion.
technique he was using. It might have had something
He
to do
didn't
with
have
his Sith
strapped
powers.
down to a chair. There's no water torture. There was no.
There are different forms of
gravity.
brainwashing.
There was
And
no.
besides, wait a second. Did they ever establish whether the recurring nightmares were actually part of? Was that something that
the
Palpatine was
nightmares
doing as
him
well,
seeing glimpses into the future.
Yeah.
or was it?
It was because they said that that's how he saw the death of his mother, and he didn't want that to happen again.
Yeah, but maybe it was Palpatine opening some.
Oh, now you're really getting devious. I don't think so.
I don't know. He seemed
Because-
to always have plans within plans. So
Yeah, but they always say, "Bring him to me." If they could do that, then he could stay where he is.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think it works like that.
Yeah, I guess
You know-
I guess it has to be within a certain range.
I get, I didn't really think about that before, but they always say that anyway. So I don't perceive it as having that kind of range. I mean, so much so that he ends up strangling her. Really? Come on.
I did have
Yeah.
but then again, to be fair, I had a problem with all three of those damn movies.
Well, no,
So
but I'm not calling bullshit on all full three movie. I'm talking about this.
Yeah, but for me, by the time I got to the end of the third movie, I was basically just total suspension of disbelief because everything about it was just.
So they had you brainwashed.
I believe.
Yeah, you could say. Yeah, it was just like, okay,
you're
fine,
right,
just
Dave.
roll with it. Just roll with it.
No, I
Dave is
couldn't
right.
roll. I couldn't roll with that part. Sorry, you're saying, Scott?
Dave is right
Okay.
because she is supposed to be Anakin's true love.
It's why he's
And yeah, exactly. This is the woman he is devoted to. I can see him believing that Obi-Wan and her are having an affair. The
Nah.
brainwashing, that's fine. But to
No.
kill her,
No,
he would
no.
get snapped out. He
No.
would snap out long before he killed her.
with his hand in the forest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yes.
No. I'm not sold that.
No,
That,
okay, I'll definitely give
So
you that.
I'll give you half of a bullshit. I'll
Yeah.
give you a bull.
Okay, half a bull. All right.
You squeezed it out. Pinched it off. Okay, I've got another one for you. I've got another one for you.
okay.
Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, the one with
You're not
Tom
pinching
Cruise.
it. All
Okay, now just the whole idea that Tom Cruise is some kind of master construction worker or something. was bad enough. But the scene, there's a scene about halfway through the film, I think, where his son runs away from him, and he has to choose between his son and his daughter, and his son runs off with the army over the top of this hill, and that entire unit gets massacred in flames.
That could happen.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
And then you get to the end of the movie. Now, the sun was heading in the opposite direction from where they were supposed to go.
Uh-huh.
And you saw parts of vehicles, armored vehicles, go flying back over the hill in flames.
Well, explosions tend to do that.
Wait. And then at the end of the movie, when Tom Cruise and the daughter reach his ex-wife's house in Boston, the son is not only alive, but already there.
He's odd. He's a pod person.
No freaking...
He's a twin?
Okay, so you're basically giving in on that one. It was bullshit, too. Spielberg basically just gave in and gave the world a happy ending.
Yeah.
Instead of actually using his head.
But let's call bullshit on the same movie.
Please do.
Okay. My problem is the War of the Worlds. I mean, H.G. Wells, wonderful story, but at least in his version, the Martians die from Earth's bacteria, the common cold. Yeah. That's bullshit.
Why?
It is established that these creatures came from Mars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Mars is a colder planet than Earth. Any being that lived on Mars would have a lower body temperature than a human being.
Okay.
Granted?
Well,
now,
I'll let you know when I meet one.
So you kind of thinking like the opposite of the predators that have to wear the heated mesh in order to keep their body temperature up because the Earth is too cold?
Is that what it was for?
Yeah.
Probably, yes. Okay. But here the point being is bacteria can only survive at certain temperatures. Any bacteria, i.e. the common cold, that would affect a human being would not affect something which has a body temperature of 22 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius.
Really?
Hell, 30 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
okay?
So kind of like what they used to teach us in high school about STDs and how...
you can't get them from
a
pets.
toilet seat.
Yes, correct. Well, no, because an STD can live on a toilet seat. Because what it's doing...
It can?
What? It can.
Oh, okay.
Because what it's doing is transferring itself from the body of one being which has a body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius to another being which has a body temperature of 36. But in this case, you have a pet. You have a cat. Yeah. You have a dog. Cats and dogs have a body temperature of about 39 degrees Celsius, 39, 40, which is 2 degrees higher than human being. And yet, you can't catch most things, from a cat or a dog.
Oh, is it because of the body temperature?
Yes, it's because of the body temperature.
I knew that you couldn't that most things you couldn't catch from your pets, but I didn't know why.
I just thought it was because the pets think that we were inferior beings.
Well, the cats do. The dogs like us. Okay. But I mean, bacteria in your cats and your dogs survive, and they're designed to survive at 39, 40 degrees Celsius. So once they hit your body, which is only 37 degrees Celsius, they die. The Martians, living on Mars, are going to have a body temperature lower than ours, more than likely in the 20s, never mind in the 30s. Therefore, any bacteria that a human being has that is pathological to a human being would die as soon as it hit a Martian system. That is my point.
Huh.
Well, there you go.
Okay, I mean, if you're right about the science, then I can't really argue with you because I'm not really that well versed in that.
I always thought it was a cheap win anyway, to be honest, even from the original.
But I mean, back when H.G. Wells wrote it, it was probably a valid idea because no one really thought about viruses and bacteria in that nature.
Yeah, I mean, and it had to be something they can relate to.
Yeah.
Exactly, but it had to be easy for H.G. Wells because, well, he was scaring the crap out of half the country.
Yeah,
no, Orson Welles scared the crap out of half the country.
He didn't have as much to work with.
All right, Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Well, you're right, Orson Welles.
Okay, so moving on. Predator.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'll give him that. Predator.
Okay.
Predator. What about
one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
why are you complaining about it?
I don't have time to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed. Geez, you got a big... Never mind. But the ending of the film is just so ridiculous. Okay. Dutch being able to outrun a nuclear explosion.
Maybe he's Superman.
He's the Flash. He's Flash.
Not the Flash.
He's secretly the Flash, no problem. We already talked about the Flash moving fast.
It was bullshit.
Well, no, he had protection.
What
He had that
protection?
mud. He
No,
had
he
that
didn't
mud
have
on
mud.
him.
The mud was
He had
off.
No,
face-
he'd already
face
fallen
mud.
he'd already fallen over the waterfall by that point. No, the mud was
Yeah,
gone.
he's right.
Oh, okay, so the mud wouldn't have protected
yeah.
him?
No.
No.
When you see him at the end of the movie,
from
he's
alpha
covered with
radiation,
ash.
yes, beta
from
and
the-
gamma, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you're bullshit that he couldn't survive the nuclear blast? or
Forget
that
survived, that he
Yeah.
could outrun it.
Yeah.
Well, he had some shelter. He was behind like a tree or something.
Yeah, he was behind a rotting log. Yeah, a rotting log does the same protection as a fallout shelter. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the rotting log was actually a petrified log, so it was really, really dense,
See, yeah,
so it stopped the radiation.
Please.
So what they're saying is around Darlington they have to put up these petrified woods
Exactly.
and everybody will be safe.
Oh God.
Makes perfect sense to me.
I would
See?
also put to you
Don't you touch me. I don't know where you've been.
horror. I'm going to just call bullshit on a whole shitload of horror movies.
Oh, really?
All right.
Go.
Name me one realistic horror movie. But in any case,
That's true. But, I mean, specifically, the two of the greatest classics, Alien and Halloween. Was it Halloween?
I don't know. It's
those
your
are the
thing.
greatest classics.
It doesn't take much. for him.
But Alien at the very least. I mean, okay, no,
Alright.
any horror film. Why do they always go back in the house? And why, when they're running away, do they always run up? Sooner or
Because
later,
it's in the script.
yeah,
It's
I know,
dramatic.
but it's stupid. Because if you
You're
run
right.
up, sooner or later you're going to reach the top, and then you got nowhere to go, and you're
Yes,
trapped.
but if they didn't do that, then you wouldn't be sitting in the movie theater going, "Don't do that! He's
You know what?
behind the door."
And in Alien,
You know what? No. Actually, I have a point to this, and I think that this is why they always go up, because back in the day when we were monkeys or like monkeys, the only safe place was up. So when you're
Exactly.
scared out of
okay,
your board,
that's an explanation I can get behind. Okay.
there you go. You see?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's
Then-
that lizard part of your brain and your cerebellum.
That's right. It's
Okay,
your
then
instinct.
what about an Alien when she goes to the cat?
Well, she likes cats.
I'm
wrong
sorry,
with that?
even Stephen King, the master of horror himself, Stephen King even called her a stunned bitch for that one.
You better, you know what? Well, okay, but he's a dog person. So,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go back after your cat? Don't your cats hear you? They're going to end you in the night.
That's right. They suck the life out of little children.
And that's a fact. So you're calling bullshit on running up the hill?
Steal their
I'm
air.
calling bullshit on running up the hill, and I'm calling bullshit on running back for the cat.
No, you don't. You better not say that, because your cats are not going to be happy.
Well, that's true. Actually, I just noticed, just as I was saying that, the cat left the room.
You see?
Okay.
You're done for, buddy. You better
They
close
know.
your door.
They're plotting against you now.
And they never forget. So you're in trouble.
No,
Cats
it's
never.
elephants.
That's elephants. I don't know if.
What?
Yeah, cats don't have very good long-term memories.
You know,
Those are
and
short-term
on top
memories.
of that, you're doing that on episode 13. So you're just begging for trouble, buddy.
It's not.
This might be our best. This might be the last episode for him.
Lucky 13.
Yeah. So welcome to my new host here, Scott.
Yeah. Right.
Hi!
Okay. Has anybody else got one?
No, that's it for me. I'm tuckered.
Okay.
No, that seems to be just
No,
about it.
no. I think we covered a lot of good stuff there. And for anybody that's listening, and you have any other calling bullshits on whatnot, let us know. Write us in.
Okay. So.
So,
how about
Geek
some
Talk Back.
Geek Talk back, Dave.
Geek Talk back. Geek Talk back. What?
Okay, I have a Geek Talk back.
You have a
Oh,
Geek Talk back.
Don't you dare.
I have a
talk
Geek
back.
Talk back.
Okay,
I'm
go.
sorry.
Yakety
Well,
yak.
it was
Don't
back
talk back.
back in the early days of Geek Talk MD.
Oh.
You guys were talking about comic books, and that one of you was saying that the X-Men comic
Yeah.
was magic, and I
Oh
disagree
no,
with
were we
this.
saying the comic or the movie?
No, I was talking about
Comic.
the movie. We agreed to talk about the movie
Okay, so it was the movie.
because we
No,
were talking about Pretty Thor or
Yeah, and you were yeah. Okay, so
No,
we were
it
talking.
was magic versus science fiction.
oh
Yeah, but we-
okay.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
is this magic or is it science fiction?
Right, and I said it was science
And-
fiction.
No, you said it was magic.
So you said it was magic,
No,
and
no,
I
you
said we were.
One of you said it was magic.
Okay.
And I
Pretty
don't
sure
remember
it was
which
you.
one of you.
No, I didn't say. You said it was magic because you were focusing on the classic Thor, and I said no in the movie.
No, he's talking about X-Men, not Thor.
Talking X-Men, not Thor.
Oh.
Thor is magic. I'm talking
It
about
was not
X-Men.
magic.
Thor is magic. Oh God.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, go.
One of you said that the X-Men was
All right.
magic, and
Okay.
that I disagree with, because you have to. It's all based on the hypothesis that the comic is based on, and that is the
Yeah.
fact that the gene can do what they claim it can do.
Okay.
If you accept this premise, then it's science fiction. If you do not accept this premise, then it's magic. So since this is the premise that the comic's based on, it's science fiction because everything that all of the mutants do is based on the X gene. This gene can This gene can make these changes. The only character who this completely falls apart on is Rogue because the premise is that she can absorb the X gene allows her to absorb any mutant's power, which if you take the original hypothesis premise that the X gene can create powers, that's acceptable. The problem is that Rogue absorbs Ms. Marvel. Who is an altered twin, not a mutant.
Well, but wasn't the Marvels all magic? Isn't Shazam? Wasn't Shazam a Marvel?
That's the wrong comic. That's the wrong comic book.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And he was Wiz Comics before DC Comics.
Okay. Anyway, so you're saying it's because it's all genetic, and so therefore
it's all genetic.
Yeah,
it's the X gene that can do this.
But what about like Doctor Strange?
We're talking about the X-Men.
We're not talking about Doctor Strange.
All right.
Fair enough. X-Men, because you were dividing them up, and one of you said that the X-Men was magic, and I'm saying no, it's not magic. It's science fiction because it's all based on the X gene. You accept that the X gene can do this. It's science fiction.
Didn't they do one crossover issue of X-Men between X-Men and Tomb of Dracula, and there was something about Storm being partially magic in that storyline?
Okay, but that's very specific.
That's very specific.
No. Yeah. Okay, wait. What about Juggernaut? That's magic.
Yeah, the Juggernaut. They only made him a mutant in the third X-Men movie. In the comics, he is magic. Yes, he is not a mutant.
Yes, but
he's not one of the X-Men.
Okay. Yeah, he's not a mutant.
He's
an altered human because of the gem. The gem gives him his powers.
He's not even actually. He's not even a blood relative of Professor X. He's his stepbrother.
Yeah.
That's
not the point. But
although I do have a question there. His last name is Marco, right? He's Kane Marco,
correct?
Right? And and the Sandman is Flint Marco.
Yes.
Are they related?
Something like that? No.
You're getting off topic here.
Okay.
So.
Okay, actually, I've got a geek talk.
So no. So let's wrap him. So
Scott,
you're talking about the X gene,
right?
I'm talking about the X gene, and whoever said that the X-Men was magical, I disagree with. That's all I'm saying.
No. Okay. Well. Okay. I got.
There you go, Dave. You were wrong.
No. You were wrong.
No,
you
were wrong.
Magic.
No, you said.
You're fantasizing about Norse results.
Again, he's going with Thor.
and all this long hair, but then that was my mistake. Yeah.
Thor is magic. We already established that. Next.
Okay, so Dave, have you got one?
Of course I have one. Because I talk with you all day.
Yeah, but that would be bullshit.
Sorry. That's the episode. So okay,
we're past bullshit now.
Okay, sorry. All right. So the one that I had an issue with was it was in the video game episode. And you had made a comment there about how video games are targeted for kids, like small kids, and that's why we had to get younger people on. And I totally disagree, because it's the older guys that have the cash. We have got jobs. We can afford stuff. We're the ones that are hardcore, paying for the accounts. The kids have to beg for the money.
I'm still going to hold to my guns on that one. Because, I mean, the last video game episode we did, Jonah and Joshua were both saying that they were going back to their parents, not to me, but to their parents to get money to pay for extra things on the video games.
Yeah,
but they're still going after the younger crowd.
No. I don't think so. I think that it's the quality of the graphics and so forth. The kids are getting attached to it, but the target is still not for them, because where it is good that they're interested and get them young. I'm still saying that it's not targeting for young kids. I'm saying it's targeting for young adults and adults, because we're the ones who can pay for ourselves. Those accounts aren't cheap. So it's much cheaper.
You're talking about online accounts. So you're not talking like Mario Karts.
Well, we didn't specify. I mean, I think he said that we were talking about video game episode, and the comment was that Mo made was it was for younger. It was for kids or young kids, something like that.
No.
So we wanted to get.
No, I agree with you. It's for the older. It's for the older kids. It's for teenagers and up. People who have free cash.
Yeah.
Or have more access to cash from their parents.
Exactly. I mean, yes, the kids can play it, but as you said, Mo, the fact that the kids had to go back to their parents to get the money.
Yeah, but not that many. Okay, but not that many parents are actually that good at being a parent. I mean,
I'm not going there at all. But what I'm
Yes.
saying,
but there are a lot of parents out there that the kids
game
will say, "Can I
target-
just have a few dollars so I can play this video game some more?" And the parent will say, "Well, he's not going to be under my feet."
With
Go.
arcades, dude. We're not
Same-
talking about your old days with the arcade. We're talking about modern video games.
Yes.
And I'm saying they're not targeting young kids.
Have you,
know, if
watched
young
some of
kids-
these commercials?
That's not the point. If young kids are interested in playing it, that's a different thing. But what I'm saying is that I don't think they're targeting young kids because young kids have no money.
Exactly. They're targeting people with money. Teenagers and up. Like, you look at it. Any prepubescent child is going to have fewer video games, PS3, PS2, Nintendo, whatever, than someone who is mid-teens and older. I mean, there are 30-year-olds who have huge video game libraries
I will grant
because
you that.
they can afford it.
I will grant you that.
Absolutely.
I know a guy I work with that must have still holds on to all the video game systems he's had in the past 10 years and still keeps going back and playing all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about skill or anything. My son, he can't remember to brush his teeth and put on socks, but he can tell me anything about any of those modern games, on the phone and stuff that I know nothing about. But at the end
Just
of
like
the day,
you, Dave.
what?
Just like you,
Yes,
Dave.
just like you.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
My point being is that, these modern video games are not targeting young kids because they got no cash. And these games
Right.
need cash, big cash.
That's right.
Because, this isn't turned into such a multi-billion, trillion-dollar business off of, that.
Okay. So point
That
well
was going
made.
somewhere, right?
that was,
Point
I thought
well
it was
made,
going
even though you
somewhere.
fizzled out at the end.
I
I think
thought
we're-
it was going somewhere. I guess it didn't. But my point being is, this isn't targeting young kids. That's my
Right.
point. So
Okay,
anyways.
you've made your
All right.
point. Anyway, that's it for another episode of Geek Talk MD.
Oh, I thought we were going to close. Hello. But yeah, okay. That's all I got. That's good.
Okay, so thank
right.
you so much, Scott.
Thank
You've
you,
been
Scott.
a great guest.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, you brought some good science in there. I actually learned something. More than I learned from
Yes?
Moses anyway.
That-
Oh,
me,
please.
Mr. Seinfeld.
You just don't listen.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
that's actually wrong.
so thank you for listening,
Thank you.
and pack up your lucky dice, put away those Chinese food menus, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Geek Talk MD. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.